Welcome! Today we are getting into a real classic from O. Henry called The Last Leaf. Now it might be a short story, but believe me, it packs an incredible punch about what it means to hope, to sacrifice, and well, to really live.
Everything, and I mean everything, comes down to this one question. It seems so simple, right? But the answer is part of a mystery that is literally life or death for a young woman, and it leads to one of the most moving, selfless acts you'll ever read about. All right, let's set the scene. We're in Greenwich Village, in a little apartment shared by two young artists, Sue and Johnsy. It's supposed to be a place full of dreams and creativity, but it's about to get very, very dark.
So Johnsy got sick with pneumonia, but the real problem? It's not just in her lungs, it's in her head. She just lies there in bed, not moving, staring out the window. Her friend Sue is getting frantic because it's like Johnsy has already decided to give up.
Don't lose hope.
The doctor comes and basically says what Sue's been fearing. He puts it bluntly, her mindset is the real problem here. Her body might be fighting the illness, but her spirit, it's already thrown in the towel. You know, Sue tries everything. She talks about fashion, about art, anything to get her mind off it. But Johnsy is just locked into this grim countdown. She's watching this old ivy vine on the wall across the way, and you can hear her whispering as the leaves fall.
11, 10, 9.
And there you have it. That's the core of her despair. She has literally tied her own life to that dying vine. And this isn't some passing fancy, you know? It's a deep-seated belief that has completely taken over, a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy she seems ready to see through. Sue, of course, just can't deal with this. She tries to snap her out of it with logic and, love. She's begging her, pleading with her, telling her it's completely crazy to connect her life to a bunch of old leaves, but it's like talking to a brick wall. So Sue is watching her friend just fade away, and she gets desperate. She goes looking for help from a pretty unexpected person who lives right downstairs in their building. Now, this guy, Baharman, he's kind of seen as a bit of a failure. He's this gruff, older artist who has been talking about painting his one great masterpiece for like 40 years, but he's never actually started it. Sue just spills everything to him, telling him all about Johnsy's bizarre fixation on that last leaf. His first reaction is just what you'd expect from a grumpy old guy.
Is she stupid? How can she be so foolish?
He's angry, thinks it's ridiculous. How can anyone be so foolish? But you can tell that underneath all that bluster, he's actually really, really worried about the young woman upstairs. And then, that night, the weather just unleashes. It's not just a little rain, it's a brutal storm. I'm talking freezing rain, howling winds. The kind of storm that makes you think there's absolutely no way that one last tiny little leaf could ever survive till morning. So morning comes, and this is it, the big moment. Johnsy, her voice barely a whisper, tells Sue to pull up the shade. And you can just imagine Sue's heart pounding in her chest. She's so scared to look, expecting the absolute worst. And this is the turning point of the entire story, because against all odds, after that horrible storm, one single ivy leaf is still there, just clinging to that brick wall. It's this tiny, quiet act of rebellion against the wind, the rain, and against death itself. And just the sight of that one little leaf, that one stubborn leaf, it starts a chain reaction. It turns out to be more powerful than any pill the doctor could have prescribed. Johnsy just stares at it all day long, and seeing how it refused to fall makes her see how wrong she's been. She realizes it's a sin to want to die. That little leaf, fighting for its life, reminds her of the strength she thought she'd lost. Her whole attitude shifts, and then she asks for some soup. A really good sign. The doctor comes back later and he's shocked in a good way. Johnsy's going to make it. But his visit has this awful, tragic twist. Just as one patient gets her will to live back, another has lost his. Old Behrman is now desperately sick with pneumonia, and for him, the doctor says there is no hope.
And this is where the mystery of the leaf is finally solved, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. Sue goes to Johnsie's bedside and tells her the news. Mr. Berriman died that morning. He'd only been sick for 2 days. Turns out, the janitor found him in his room, totally helpless. His clothes and shoes were soaking wet and freezing cold. And right there, next to his bed, were these clues. A ladder, a lantern that was still lit, some brushes, and a palette with green and yellow paint. They tell the whole story of where he'd been that night. And here it is, the final gut punch of a reveal. The leaf that gave Johnsy hope, it wasn't real. It was a painting. Berman went out in that horrible storm and painted it on the wall right after the real one fell. He finally created his masterpiece, not for a museum, but on a brick wall in the middle of a storm, and it cost him his life.
So, wow, what are we supposed to take away from all this? Let's unpack the really powerful ideas that O. Henry wove into this incredible story.
Well, the story makes it crystal clear that you can't separate the health of your mind from the health of your body, right? They are totally 100% connected.
When you get right down to it, medicine alone wasn't going to save her. That painted leaf didn't magically fight off the pneumonia. What it did was way more important. It healed her spirit. It gave her hope. And that hope was the real medicine that gave her body the strength to fight back.
So let's really think about this. What makes his painting a masterpiece? It wasn't just about how it looked. It was about what it did and what it cost. See, Berriman's masterpiece took a symbol of death, that last falling leaf, and turned it into something permanent, a symbol of hope. The real leaf meant the end was near, but his painted leaf, it was a symbol of a life given for someone else. It wasn't just paint on a wall. It was an act of pure, selfless love that in his final moments gave his entire life meaning. Now that is a masterpiece, not because of fame, but because of its incredible humanity.
ऐ मिट्टी मेरी माँ, मेरी जन्मभूमि है तू, कण कण में तू बसी, मेरा आदि अंत तू।